Hey everybody, welcome back to I Know a Guy. Today we're talking with Steve Kent. He owns his own business and he specializes in financial education. He's been doing it for 4 years. I've met with him a couple times and he's a great guy. I think you guys like to get to know him. So hi Steve, how's it going?
All right, Anthony, doing well. How you doing today?
I can't complain. Well, I mean I could, but I probably shouldn't. No good will come from it. So
True. Okay.
yeah, so we've met a few times. I don't know if I ever asked you, where are you located at?
I'm located in New York, just outside Manhattan. It's a great town. You can tell by my accent, I'm from New York. So, okay.
Yeah, yeah, kind of wear that on your shoulder there.
Yep.
So,
Sorry.
are you born and raised then?
I was born and raised in New York, other than a short stint in Illinois and New Jersey for two jobs back when I was in corporate world. But since then, I've been here in New York and I love it.
Cool. I've never made it all the way up to New York. If, everybody says New York, you can do whatever you want there, but in your personal opinion, if I was to go visit, what's the fun thing you'd always recommend somebody do?
I love Times Square. It's got a little bit of everything. It's theater, it's sports, it's the arts, it's the crowds. Watching the crowds is an amazing thing. You never know what you're going to find, but it's a great town. I'd recommend it to anybody, certainly for a visit.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try it out eventually. It's on my bucket list, so we'll
All
go
right,
do that.
sold. So let me know
So
when you get here.
yeah, I will do. So, what can you tell us about what you do?
So I am a financial educator, and what that means is I share knowledge about all the different aspects around money that most people on purpose have never been taught in school, in work, in life. And the reason they haven't been taught that is because major corporations, banks, insurance companies, brokerages, they all make their money based on us, the average person, being uninformed. So we don't make enough when we invest our money. We pay too much when we borrow money, and that's where they make it all at our expense. So my goal and my mission is to share the knowledge, educate people so they can now make more informed financial decisions.
It's got to be nice having an unfair advantage like they've had for generations now. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm right there with you. I was never taught any of this stuff in school. It's always, you always learn about it afterwards. So
Correct.
glad to see you're out there helping folks. So do you work just regionally, nationally, or what does that look like for you?
So I can work across the US. Right now, I'm licensed in 10 states, and I can be licensed in any other in a matter of 24 hours. I have teams spread across 4 states right now and clients in others. Um, and it's great when, even though geographically I am constrained based on my license by state, but because I can go out to everyone, no one is out there that cannot be helped, that cannot be educated. And we have, in my company, we have a saying that says, no family left behind. So it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, what you make, what you have to invest. It doesn't matter. We can help everybody.
That's great. Yeah, there's so many people out there that need that kind of help. So
Mhm.
being able to work anywhere is huge. So
It is. It is.
been doing it for 4 years. What got you started?
So my story, real short, is I worked for 32 years in corporate. I have a BBA in accounting and MBA in information systems. I thought, and I stress, I thought that I was a pretty smart guy until I left corporate and I went to open my own business. That business lasted 2 years and I failed miserably because that's when I realized, as smart as I thought I was what I call financially illiterate. I had no idea how money worked. So I'd lived through the good and the bad. And when I worked my way out of being bankrupt, yes, I was bankrupt when the business failed. I then worked my way out. And now my goal when I sit down with individuals and families is to help them not make the same financial mistakes that I made. So it's not just reading a book. It's not just graduating college and going to work. This is real life experiences. So when I sit down with someone, I can understand exactly what they're going through because I did. And that makes me different than pretty much most other people out there.
Yeah, you're not wrong. So, what's your favorite thing about what you do? Obviously, I have an idea based on what you just said, but if you had to pick one thing.
The one thing that really, and this is going to sound really strange, the one thing that gets me excited when I sit down with someone and they tell me I've given up on everything because I can't do this, I can't afford it, I can't. What gets me excited is when they understand the options and that light bulb goes off and they get it. And that changes their life. And now they can leave a legacy where they couldn't before. And that's what gets me excited.
So, based on the fact that you started 4 years ago, I imagine there's been a lot of a lot of things that have changed in your perspective and things that you've learned. What would you do different if you had to start over today?
In the business or in my own personal.
Yes. How about both?
How about both? Okay. So from a personal perspective, if I knew then, you've heard this before, if I knew then what I know now, I would have invested significantly differently. And I'm not even talking in the market, just the general knowledge of how money works, what to do, what not to do, going into business that would have had a better chance of success than the one I went into. Those are things if I knew then what I know now. Now, 4 years ago, if I knew what I know now, I would have taken my business, which is right now myself and three others. I would have had a team of 100 people right now. And that's what I'm working towards. Because in any given hour, right this very minute, if I wanted to go out and help someone, I could only help one person because I'm one person right now. But with a team of 5, 10, 15, 100 people, I can now, myself and the team can help 100 people right now. So that gets the goal of helping more families faster, understanding what we do. That's what I would have done differently. I would do it faster.
Okay. And if somebody's starting off in your world and they want to do what you do, what advice would you give them for them getting started now?
Well, the advice I would give is don't prejudge what the field is. A lot of people say personal finance is not for me. I don't know anything. I'm not good at it. But you know what? Yes, you are. If you're open to learning and you're open to helping other people, we can teach you everything you want. All you need to do is to be honest and be willing to help other people. That's it. We can teach you everything else, but it needs to come from inside because the tagline that we use inside the company is it's mission before commission. So the idea is to help the people. Don't count your commission. Count how many people you help. You will get paid very well, but help the people first. And that's what also makes us different.
Yeah, that's a really noble look at it because with what you're doing and everything that you're doing, you are going to make a living off of it. But if you focus on the good you're doing, you're going to make it without having to stress about it too. Because
Right.
if all you're doing is I'm helping people, then it kind of gives
Correct.
you that mindset.
So let me throw one other quick thing in there before you
Mhm.
ask your next
Yeah.
question. Going back to other people, one of the things that we stress, do this part time. We will never tell you to leave your full-time job to do this. Do this part time because what that allows you to do is to couple of things. One, if you're already employed in whatever that may be, this allows you to earn some part-time money to pay off debt, get yourself set. If you are not employed, yes, it can replace an income. But if you can take that part-time and live a better financial life, doesn't that make sense? Because if something happens to your job, and we all know people are being let go left and right, it's better to have something in process now than it is to say, uh-oh, I've been let go. I need to start today. You're already in process. You're already making money. You already have something working. Think about that as well.
Yeah, that's a good point because this is kind of something that you could probably try before committing to it. Maybe it's not for you, and
Absolutely.
now you know, or maybe it is, and like you said, if something
Absolutely.
happens, you're ready to step into it. So yeah, that's a really good
Yep.
approach. So your average client, I imagine it's most anybody because people of all sorts need this kind of
Mhm.
education. But what does your average client look like? Is it just your regular everyday person, or who do you tend to?
So my typical client is between 45 and 50. Doesn't mean I can't help other people, but the typical is 45 to 55 because most of those people have kids, got to save for college. Many of them are caring for their parents. So if you're diverting funds to help your parents, which is a good thing, that means you don't have enough money going into your own expenses and your retirement. So in that 45 to 55 is really we can help everybody. And that's why that's a target. Now, the other thing that we do is we will help, again, anybody. You've heard of, and I'm going to say some names, your JP Morgan Chases, your Morgan Stanleys. Those companies really target the people with a 500,000, a million, 2 million investable assets. We don't do that. That's the 5% of the company of the country that has all the money. We look at the 95% that are struggling, and that's who we want to help because they're the ones who need it the most. They don't have the money for the fancy attorneys and CPAs and everything else. So that's again what makes us different.
Okay. Yeah, very underserved group, which is the
Very
majority too, which is kind of
right,
ironic.
right.
So as far as power partners go, people that you synergize well with, maybe referring back and forth, what does that look like for you?
So that could be your matrimonial attorneys, your trust and estates attorneys, um, your mortgage processors, your realtors, your doctors, your nurses. Those are people who really can go back and forth and we can refer to each other um, to help everybody concerned. And that's really what it is to help each other. Because standing alone, you're on an island. But
Okay.
if you have a group of people around you, you can all go much further faster.
Okay. So it sounds like the people you synergize with are people that deal with people in transition, whether it's, getting married, having kids, going through health, that kind of stuff. So
Right. So,
transitional points.
sometimes you got CPAs in there,
Hmm.
accountants, those types, personal injury attorneys. Those are all great referrals to help people who maybe have suddenly come into money and don't know what to do with it. I still remember, quick story. I still remember when my father, when I was really young, so was my father. Um, oh, we're talking at this point, it's got to be 60 years ago. Yes, I'm old, but 60 years ago, he hit the lottery and it was like $5,000 and it was like amazing back then. But I still remember, I think it was in the 70s, there was a person who won a $5 million lottery in New York. In 2 years, he was broke because nobody told him how to do. So it was the fancy house, the cars, the parties. In 2 years, he went through $5 million. So if we can help people who suddenly come into money through whatever, a divorce, an injury, something, help them set up for life so they never run out of money and it's controlled.
Yeah, there's that's almost a trope anymore is yeah, win the lottery and you end up worse off than when you before.
Correct.
So okay.
Correct.
Well, is there anything that I forgot to ask that maybe you want to add to this or something that I might have, kind of glossed over that you wanted to, go into more detail about?
Not that I think of. I mean, I'm pretty open. I love to help people. I just spent this morning, actually, it was this morning, helping somebody who was totally confused. And we spent 2 hours. And when I walked out, again, you could see that light bulb go off. And the one thing that I will say also is I will speak with anyone and there is no charge, no cost. It's completely complimentary and completely confidential, everything we talk about. So if you have any questions, you want to talk, I'm here to talk. No worries.
Okay. So what's the best way that people get a hold of you, whether they want to, work with you or whether they want to,
Right.
just request your services?
So The website is stevekentfs.com, and the email is steve@stevekentfs.com.
Perfect. And yeah, I'll be sure to link those in the description and everywhere else this
Sure.
goes. But yeah, if anybody wants to get a hold of Steve, he's absolutely as genuine as he sounds. He's here to help you get to where you want to go. He's here to give you some education because we are all in desperate need of it. You don't know what you don't know. So even if you think you
Correct.
have a good idea, or a lot of times what you'll see is my uncle told me, okay, great, let's verify that with some other professionals and then compare and contrast and make a good decision for
Yeah.
you and your family. But yeah, feel free to reach out to him if you're a little shy and you want an introduction. Ask me. I'm more than happy to make that
Fair
introduction
enough. Thank
for
you,
Steve
Anthony.
as well. But if anybody else out there wants to be interviewed, feel free to reach out to me on X at I know a guy underscore. But thanks for your time, Steve. I hope you have an awesome day. Everybody else have an awesome day as well. And let's all get out there and meet some people. All right.
Thank you, Anthony. Have a great day.
You as well.
Thanks. Bye bye.